Soothsayer. Some say that you might be the man for the job. I keep hearing your name all through the streets. DJ. I want to see what else you talk about. Now I got some guys over there off 19th and Broad.
Yo, this Checkz and Respect, man. We here with the infamous, the artist, producer, entrepreneur, the man himself, C-Note. You know, C-Note, what you don't got going on, man. You been wanting to get on this camera for a minute now, man.
Man, you ain't lying. Look, man, how long I've been bugging you about this? About a year and a half going on.
Year and a half, man.
Since we first met,
since
man.
Since the showcase that you threw at Tequila Sports Bar in South Village. On the real.
So, yeah, man, I'm glad that you was able to come through today, man. Take up your time out your busy schedule to come and do this, because it is vitally important, man, for me at this point in the game right now to do this that we doing. Now that this what is, what I'm going to call it? It's a docu-series. That's what we going to do.
A docu-series,
yeah,
okay.
We ain't doing no docu.
So basically you saying you going to stay in tune with us.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, I
now,
appreciate
you know how
that,
people
man.
be trying to get streams and followers, right? Okay,
right.
Well, I think it's more important. I think these cats, man, and we're going to get into that later when I break that down. I think the thing that I see, you know how we be on Facebook, you be scrolling and you see people, they on their real thing and they on their TikTok and all of that, and they trying to give, you know, their insight and give you
they
advice.
Trying to drop a gem here and there, message.
And that's neat and that's cool. But to me, every time I've seen that, and I watch everything like every day, it seems like they missing something. Either they don't absolutely hit the nail on the head, or make the point, whereas when you put it on Facebook, this general all over the world, anybody can see it, anybody view it, and you gonna hit or miss. This is specifically targeted based on me, my history in it, and my knowledge of it. Now this is, you gonna see too, now I think you finna meet a new me that you ain't even known yet, which is the real serious me, because now I'm finna teach. And this is that these cats that we know, that I work with as far as the music go, they don't even know, bro. They ain't even know.
Right.
So it's odd. But now with this is my way of not only talking to them and finally getting their attention and letting them know what they should have known, but getting everybody attention other than them that need to know.
Okay.
It's the worldwide stage, and I think a documentary would be like one-sided, one take, one chance, and that's it. It's a wrap. And that's all you get. One of us gonna get it, or they ain't gonna get it. But you do it this way.
Getting the raw and uncut way.
How about that? And then, man, people got the opportunity, man, they can keep up with it. See, okay, well, what's C-No talk about this month? Or what's C-No talking about next Wednesday? Whatever. We can do it however we want to do it. Key point is, we doing this because I feel this is my way of giving back. And also, it's the way to make up for countless years of, I would say, missing the mark.
Okay.
Now, what that means, then we'll get into that.
So you started an independent label?
Right. Now that came off of when I was in college. And it actually came from a graduation present from my mom and my dad for me graduating from college, which at the time I was supposed to graduate, I didn't, but we'll get into that later. But it was the gift that was from them, which was I wanted to put out an album. I was able to record my first album in a recording studio that they had built while I was in a recording engineering class. So my final project was, we had to record a whole project with live instrumentation, blah, 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 and mix it and master it and turn it in. Man, my project turned into, instead of where all they had to do was turn in one song, I turned in, I mixed, produced, and recorded 8 projects, including my own, for this class. Well, why I take on 8 projects and all I had to do was turn in 1? Because them other 7 people were students in the class with me, they had studio blocks of time.
Right.
Set days, set space, set times like I did. I told them, I made a deal with them. I need to make this album. I do your final project, so I get your shit out of my way. You just, your slot, you come get the keys. I'll be waiting outside the door, give them to me. I'll go in, knock out your project. By the time you come back from your other class, I had your project. So I had a whole band at that time. I'm a professional drummer, so I had the drums set up, mic'd up. My instrumentalist already there. We created everything that these people turned in for their final projects live.
Right.
And I got to use all their studio time. So I took over the studio and did their projects so I could have all the studio time I needed to finish that album. Trust and believe I did. Okay. Just because of that. But that was the present. The label started off of that because the project was the album. The label came from, it was all of the camp that I built. Now this when I was in the South. This the camp that I built out of.
Well, you was that down south?
I was in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. At UAPB, okay. University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. So big ups to my people down the way. Trust to believe. I still got my son down there, Iceman Buddy. What's up to him? My legacy still doing his thing on his own. Everybody else, former family members and all that, man, still there doing his thing. But it's been quite some time since I've been that way. But that was what started. I started the label off of all the artists that I was working with, and I finished my album. Now everybody wanted to follow me. They didn't have nobody else. And two, this was at a time, bro. We talking about back in 95, 96. Motherfuckers don't even know how extensive my history is. I'm 95, 96 with this shit. So at that time, and I'm in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I'm from Chicago, man, bro, trust to believe, it was no other me's nowhere around that during that time. But to do that and to be the first to do it, I created the actual market for hip hop.
So who was your first artist on your independent label?
Me.
Yeah. No, I'm saying besides you.
Okay, now besides me, I had what was called, and I still carry that.
What's the name of it?
It's called the Organized Rhyme Circle.
Okay.
But I had individuals that made up the circle like now. I have a new Organized Rhyme Circle here. But it was my man Mo Amps, that was my roommate at the time. He was from Seattle, Washington. I had my man's Black Magic. He was out of Milwaukee.
You had artists from different areas.
All over.
Organized.
Right.
Okay,
so that's why I chose that and the circle. Because all of us was from different parts, all over the place, but all came together, one force. So like talent shows they do now, where they have like, you know, the prize money, first, second, third place type of stuff like that. If it was for money, bro, whole camp, I'm talking about like 12 of us, go after one show. All us get on the show to compete. I don't give a damn what show it was, how many places they had, whatever the prize was, we're going to take first, we're going to take second, we're going to take third. Every rip. So think about it. You got one camp, all y'all.
That's building the fan base too.
Right. All y'all come together, all y'all lead together, but we done all won first, second, and third place. What we finna do with the money? So that's how simple it was back then.
Invest into the studio with the money.
Hey, in the studio, what? Was free. It was free. Okay, let's get it. Yeah. Definitely.
So is your you an artist and like a CEO, like, you know, so what's your focus more on, like the artist or the business wise, or like?
I could tell you that really is vital. What now is my focus?
Yeah.
Now is the business, ownership, executive production. This that we're doing.
It's not really focused on the music wise anymore. You rather make artists instead of being one.
Now, trust to believe, mind you. Now, there's gonna be some people, they see this, they gonna be like, "Nah, he lying." Well, yeah, that's because no, y'all don't know. Now, you asked, so I get to tell you the truth.
Okay.
That's what this is for. The truth. It's the behind the music, which is the most important. So we can eliminate what is in front of it that everybody blinded and fooled and tricked by. That's what I gotta get to.
Instead of what they get to know now instead of assuming.
Thank you.
Just
and
off
that's
the way you move.
Yeah. So this the thing. Nobody understood that I was the business and the artist. All they knew and went for was me being an artist. That's all you saw. So
you're a hell of a promoter too.
And thank you. Now the promoter thing, that's funny too. And here, especially, I was more so known as either it's groups of people that only know me as a promoter. It's groups of people that only know me as a drummer, a musician. It's groups of people that only know me as a rap artist. They never knew it was all these combined. Never knew. The business part, what we talking about, the ownership thing. Been saying it for years. People heard it, but take it serious or understand how real is when you ask CEO, owner of independent label. Now, trust and believe, we wait till I get into that too about this thing about people that think they own something. Got a lot of people running around here tag grabbing. They assuming identities of things that they believe that they are and they are not. And
I'll break that down.
Okay, now, thank you. I'm glad you asked. Now, this the breakdown of that, and this is what really, and I'm gonna make sure I'm looking directly at the camera when I say it too. This what y'all need to quit doing, because this is what's wrong with y'all right now. To tell you the difference between something. To own something means you have paperwork that says so. Now, let me tell you, if those of y'all that think y'all own the independent record label, let me tell you what you don't. You think you do, let me tell you what you should have then. If you own the independent record label, if you say you got a label, let me tell you what you better have then to make sure that you do. First of all, there's some terms I'm finna say that you're gonna have to know. And two, I'm gonna have to further explain to y'all later on. That's what this is for. Now, here we go. First thing you better have is an assumed name certificate. That means that gives you an actual certificate that shows your name of your business that you created, and it is issued to you by the IRS. Oh, that's them other people you better hurry up and know. Now, another thing you better have a business bank account that has the exact same matching name as your business. Another thing you better have what is called an EIN number, which is an employee identification number, and or tax ID number, which is the same amount of numbers as your original social security number, but it is different because it has a different designation. It is about products, services of business, something of that nature. That could be something that could be attached to specific tax forms that you have to pay if you have employees under you on payroll, you have different officers, different positions, you have to have a way to pay them. So the other thing you better make sure that you got, if you talking about independent record label, is you better have the actual means by which to record. You better have the actual, that means equipment, manpower, location to do. You need to also make sure that you got officially the what else did you need? You need to have some other things in place too. If you really want to be owner, worth a damn, know some things too in addition to this. We're going to get into all these. Publishing. You need to be affiliated with a publisher or a publishing entity, which would be, to y'all that don't know, BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC. You only got 3 in the world that publish everything. Always have. You need to know the difference between publishing and copyright. See, we got plenty for them to learn, bro. I got to break down all this because I swear to God, these dudes run around here thinking they don't know nothing. So these terms that I say now, again, remember I said, label owner, no you ain't, unless you know what I'm talking about. If this is new to you right now while I'm saying it, guess what? No the hell you ain't. You don't own shit. Let me make it clear to you. You don't own shit. Not even your name that you call your shit. Because if you have not filled out that assumed name certificate, that means that you had to do a name search before you filled out the certificate and had to pay for it in order to have it go through. It had to be published in a newspaper or some type of publication for so many weeks running, saying that you were an active business that just started. You got some paperwork direct from the IRS showing you that this is your business, this is what you do, this is the geographic area that you in, blah, blah, blah. So, if y'all ain't did none of that, we could stop now with that, because, see, this will take forever.
And your logo or whatever.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother, okay, now, see, the logo. Okay.
You got to have that with it, too, though. Because you just can't, hey, this Checkz the respect, we know, bro.
Yeah, look how I do it, bro. I'm going to peel about this joint on purpose. We gonna make sure I purposely put this on, so we make sure. Look, now, here we go. This is a whole other segment. It's down there. Now, this is when we get into branding. See, and marketing, logo. Remember I said them 2 things? Trademark office, copyright office, patent office. Oh, excuse me, Uniform Code Council, UPC, them people. That's what that is. That's barcode, nigga. For those who don't know what a UPC code is, that's the barcode. That's pick up a can of. Matter of fact, let me show you this beer can I'm sipping on. You see this shit? Where the thing at? You see that, right? Anything you pick up anywhere that you purchase, anything, it has that on it. That's what they scan when you're in the store, right? That's a barcode. Well, guess what? Label owners that think you is, and I know your ass ain't, guess what you ain't got? Not one of them so-called strings that when I started in this thing, that 95, 96 time period, nigga, we ain't even had personal computers. They ain't had no such thing as that. We didn't have laptops. We didn't even have CDs when I started. We didn't have none of that. I came out on vinyl and cassette. Period. And sold that in the street. We didn't know what a CD was or a CD player when I began. When no DVDs, none of that shit. We VHS, the big ass VHSs too, Beta and shit during that time. But the logo thing we was talking about, that's that a whole nother entity. It ain't got nothing to do with your music. It ain't got nothing to do with that. But again, those of y'all, again, to prove the point of those of y'all that thought y'all was owning something and y'all running a label and run around here lying to people talking about you got one and you want them signed to you, I can't tell you how many people told me. And I came to them legitimately told them, man, I need to sign you. They looked at me like, sign me to what? I was like, okay, well, before I get into explaining the what, explain to me, are you presently signed with somebody? You presently on any type of agreement with somebody? 1,500 different people told, oh yeah, I'm with so-and-so music. I'm with so-and-such and such and such. And I'm with da-da-da-da-da. Oh yeah? Okay. First question I asked, that shit that I was talking about, when you think you are and you ain't, you got who they publish you through. Well, I got my stuff copywritten. Nigga, that ain't publishing. That's not it. That's what you're talking about. Okay, but you signed to somebody. Okay, you so apparently you don't have publishing. Okay, well, okay, that's one. Next thing, well, you signed to somebody. All right, well, what you got a tax ID number? If you don't have one for yourself, then the people you signed to, they have to have one assigned to you. If say I hire you, which you're actually hired for this, I'm going to have to use that EIN I'm talking about for you to do this. I'm going to have to do it. For what we going to do with it, if it turns into money, and we want to make sure we get this gazillion dollars we going to make after we shoot this shit, I got to do it. Because I got to legitimately pay you. I can't do it under the table. I could. Why do that? I want to make sure the government see this shit. Because when you start fucking around, you know, if you wanted to send me $100,000 to my bank account right now, or cash at it, don't make no difference how you do it. If that shit showed up in my bank account, it showed up in your bank account, but it didn't come from some legal governmental source, first thing gonna happen is, if you got a bank worth a damn, you're gonna get an email, you're gonna get a text message, but if it's over $100,000, if it anything at $100,000 or more, they gonna call my phone. And be like, hey, may I speak to Brian White, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's speaking this he. Mr. White, we would call to make sure that you were aware and we need you to verify this transaction that occurred in your account. Okay, now, we don't see where this money came from, or it's not a designated source that it came from. So if it don't have a designated attachment, which would be, if it was a legitimate source, it would have an EIN attachment. It would have something attached to it that whoever sent it, if it was a company, their name and their identity, that number would pop up, and it would be seen. They would be registered.
That's a red flag.
Right. If not, you got that red flag. Mm-hmm. Now, those y'all the red flags, I'm gonna tell y'all, all them stimulus getters, I was one of them. Let me tell y'all another thing about y'all. Get ready, because when income tax time come, all y'all took the PP bullshit loans that y'all got and ran off them grants and ran off talking about you had this fake ass business that you know your ass ain't got because your homie gave you that hookup to get them racks. Let me tell you what your ass did do. What you're gonna get, and the reason why the government was so willing to give it to you, what you're finna get is your ass handed to you when your income taxes come back. I'm gonna tell you why. Because from the time that those were given out and based on what it was, for every person that took that shit, lied, and used that money, let me tell you what's finna happen. Remember I said you do not exist and you ain't unless you got these things? All the people I know, they got that shit other than me. And I say other than, because again, I got mine, my papers over here. Now, this the problem. Y'all wasn't no real business to start with before you applied for it or before you heard about it. Because you so thirsty and so hungry to get it, your brilliant ass hurried up and took it. Got that shit put into what everybody did, your own personal bank account. Mistakes all across the board. We'll get into that later too after I finish telling you why you finna get your ass handed to you. Now, your personal account versus that business account. Remember I said that too, right? Okay, y'all ain't got them, but your business has to have one. You had to have had something attached to that EIN number. Guess what y'all got? Y'all that went through them hookups and them third party motherfuckers that told y'all that shit. You ain't got no damn ID number. If they didn't send it to you, you don't have it. Guess what you got? You have their ID number as the source that paid you out. So what you became was an employee working for their business, which is the reason why you was able to get it without ever having a certificate of an assumed name. You didn't put shit business-wise together. Y'all still sitting up, smoking and drinking right now, and tricking off, talking about y'all gonna go turn up tonight, and your dumb ass don't know that federal government can't wait till you go do it. Please, by all means, go spend some more money that your ass, we finna get back from you tenfold for the rest of your life, because that's what y'all did. Now, what the people that you got to hook up through didn't tell your ass was that all the breakdowns to how this works. A lot of them that even did it as third parties got lucky. They didn't even really know. They just rode the wave and it caught on so fast, everybody went for it. But I guarantee you, just like I got mine, that nigga I got it through, he out of 10 racks, he got 4 of mine. Trust and believe. Trust. Look, let me teach y'all a little something about some clothing, man. Me, if I go in a store, I don't want nothing unless it's gonna go from head to toe. Hurry up, no. I am a Dress to Impress spokesmodel.
Okay.
For real.
I fuck with Dress to Impress.
But I'm also a Stacey Adams spokesmodel. I'm also a Dobbs spokesmodel. Why? Cause I'm Dobbs from the head to the Crocker Gator motherfucking Stacey's on the beats. But it's in between the Dress to Impress outfit you, but they cut you in the store. I told the lady I want special cuts for every pair of pants that I bought. Trust and believe. Look at the cuffs. This is a triple layer with a button closure cuff.
That is a button on the